Hello and welcome to the Results Mastery podcast. It's great to have you here. So if this is your first time here, thank you for being so. And if you're a subscriber or a follower, then welcome back, and it's great to have you here. What I always promise people is to try and do my best to make sure that you get the best return on investment from your time in being here, and that will continue today. However, today's a little bit different because I'm going to try and sell you something. I know, typically on podcasts, you don't do that. And, generally speaking, what I try to do is, provide some value, give people some valuable information. And then sometimes at the end of it, I might, you know, pitch something, tell people about something that will be of value to them and will help them. So I'm not going to change my format here, but I am going to be a little bit more salesy than I normally am. Let me just tell you why that is. Because today's all about LinkedIn. It's about something I call LinkedIn mastery. And really, it's about the one of the biggest problems that I see with people is they spend an inordinate amount of time, sometimes money, but often time and effort, trying to market themselves on LinkedIn. And the truth of the matter is they're not very successful. And I hope that's not you. I hope you're making hundreds of thousands or millions of pounds from LinkedIn. And in which case, this may or may not be of value to you. But if you're not, if you're, posting on LinkedIn on a regular basis, or even if you're doing nothing at all, and you just, on there and you've got a profile and you never go into it, then, this is definitely going to be of value for you. Now, I'm going to do my pitch, as it were. Let's get it over with. Let's get it out there. And it's this. I've developed an online LinkedIn training program. It's video based. It's not live. It's video based training, but it's great. It's such a fantastic opportunity to learn stuff. And I'm talking about, video training generally here, not just my program's called Results. Sorry, it's not called Results Mastery. My company's called Results Mastery. It's called LinkedIn Mastery. This concept of online training is brilliant. Why? Because you can do it anytime you want, 24/7. It's available on an ongoing basis. When you sign up and pay for this program, you've got it for the rest of your life. Not only that, but it's updated. So if LinkedIn changes something, if there's something new on LinkedIn, then I just go on there and add a video or change a video, depending whether it's something totally new or something's just changed. And I strongly recommend you buy other programs, not just mine, but this one I think is an absolute no-brainer. Now, normally, the normal price for this LinkedIn mastery training, which includes, I think it's about 30 videos. Each one is fairly short, between about, I don't know, maybe there's the odd 5-minute video, but most of them are like 10, 15, 20 minutes, something like that. And I've done them in that way on purpose so that you don't have to sit down for 2 hours on watching a video. You just go and do one and then do another, and it's up to you whether it's my full day's training, which lasts 7 hours on video. So you can do, just go and hit it and do 7 hours in one go, or you might want to split it up and do 15, 20 minutes every day and do a little bit. But the important thing with all these things, with any training, it's not so much the training, it's what you do after the training that's going to make the big difference. It's what you do with the training. As Tony Robbins says, knowledge is a waste of time, and the application of knowledge is everything. And I really do believe that very, very sincerely. If you go on my course or somebody else's course and you learn stuff and you come away and go, oh, that was interesting, that Steve Mills seems to know what he's talking about, and then does nothing, you've just wasted whatever it is, an hour or a day or whatever you've wasted. You listen to this podcast and you don't do anything. You've wasted your time, in truth. So Let me just tell you a little bit more about it. And in doing so, I'm going to be telling you what you should be doing on LinkedIn. So there's like, as I mentioned, I wanted to add value to this, not just pitch you, but I want to pitch you, if you will, on the importance and how to use LinkedIn. So let's kick off. The first thing that we talk about in the program, and the first thing that you need to do on LinkedIn, is to improve your profile. This is where, the old saying, you never get a second chance to create a great first impression is very, very relevant and true. So we want to make sure that you've got a really good first impression. That's step one. And there's I think about 3 or 4 videos on that. Some of them including how to set up the banner, how to add the photo and stuff like that, and also your personal profile and your company profile, which is an important thing, together with your product pages, basically. So you need to do that as well. So that's step one. Step two is around growing your database, growing the number of people that you're connected to. Let me give you an example of this. If your target market was, I don't know, hotels in Southampton, and you know that there are 3,000 hotels in Southampton, and your target people are the owners and the managers of those hotels. So let's just assume there's only one of each at each hotel. That's 6,000 people that you need to be connected to on LinkedIn, because pretty much everybody's going to be on LinkedIn. Let's clarify that. There are over 35 million people just in the UK on LinkedIn, and worldwide that's coming up to, last time I looked, it was just below 900 million people. So LinkedIn is the biggest database in the world, and if you're not using it, then you just like leaving a load of cash on the table, in my opinion. So that's step two, then. We've got to grow our database. And there are all variety of different ways of doing that. I'm sure you're aware of some of them, but on the training, you'll get a full understanding of each and every area and each and everything that you can do in order to grow your database. Once you've done that, and by the way, you don't like do that and then start the next one. You need to start the next one at the same time. You're developing your profile and you're connecting to people and so on. Once you've done that, though, what we need to do is start communicating with those people. It's no use having 5,000, 6,000 contacts on LinkedIn that have never heard of you and never hear from you. And you ask people to connect. I get this all the time. People go, "Will you connect to me on LinkedIn?" I go, "Yes." And that I never hear from them. It's like, what are you doing that for? That's crazy. Why would you want to connect to somebody and then do nothing? I just don't get that. It's like, definition of insanity, I think, almost. But anyway, you need to be communicating with them, and that can be on a one-to-one basis, on a posting basis, on a sharing, on liking and commenting on their posts, and so on and so forth. Again, I go more into that in the training. Next step is around how to start the process of turning all that into sales. Because it's all very well having loads of people and communicating with them and developing them and so on, but we've got to get them turned into sales. And I will tell you on this video that the number one way of doing that, in my experience, and I make round about 100 grand per year on LinkedIn, and we're just a small business. I've got clients. One client made 42 million pounds as a result of this online training. So, and I say that thinking, oh, they'll never believe me anyway, but it is true. Just be aware of that. It's about speaking to people, picking up the phone, using this modern digital marketing tool, but using it, I think, in an old-fashioned way, in a way, by picking up the phone, not quite carrier pigeon, but picking up the phone and using that and talking to people. What a concept. So that's that. The next thing we're going to look at is some of the paid advertising on LinkedIn, because this is a real opportunity that a lot of people don't really use. It's used, it's one of the ways LinkedIn makes money, and we're going to look at all the paid stuff, whether that's, buying Sales Navigator, whether that's advertising, whether that's video advertising, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to show you on the program exactly what to do, exactly how to set this up. I go in and I share my screen and show you which buttons to press and so on and so forth. And then lastly, we're going to look at groups. Groups on LinkedIn are a great way of connecting to the masses, getting your name out in front of thousands upon thousands of people. I'm in some groups that have got 100,000 members. And if I post on there, not all of them, obviously, but let's say 1%, if 1% of them, if I post a video on one of my LinkedIn groups and 1% of that 100,000 people see my video, and perhaps 10% of those go to my website, that's 100 people to my website, and 1,000 people have watched the video. You with me? You see how valuable that is? Because I can tell you here and now, the biggest problem, in my professional opinion, and I've been doing this for 30 years, in my professional opinion, the biggest problem that you and I and every small business has got is something called obscurity. People won't buy from you until and unless they know, like, and trust us. And so many people, particularly on LinkedIn, but in business generally, try to sell to strangers. It's one of the biggest mistakes. They try to sell to strangers. People all the time connect to me on LinkedIn. I go, yes. If they do communicate that to me, they go, oh, do you want to buy this? I go, no, I don't. Actually, I don't. I just ignore them. Somebody tried to sell me a Volkswagen the other day. Yeah, he didn't even know me, didn't know who I was, whether I got a car, whether I drove a car at all, what type of car I liked, whether I was looking for a car. It'd have been far better for him to have taken the time to get to know me and perhaps sent me a pros and cons of buying a car compared with leasing a car, and so on. So nurture, nurture, nurture is really, really key on LinkedIn, and that's about it. That's about all I've got to say. So other than if you do want to buy the program, it's, as I've said, £299 plus VAT. That's the normal price. That's going to go back to being the normal price on the 1st of February. Okay, so this is not a long-term thing. This is a special offer to help people to get started in 2025. Okay, so it's just gone live. It's until the 31st. It will be switched off because right now you can get it for a tenner, £10. £10 plus VAT. So if you're not VAT registered, it'll cost you £12, which is about the cost of I don't know, 2 or 3 Starbucks, a bottle of wine or something like that. And this is for life, right? So, it's a no-brainer. I strongly employ you to do it, not because I'm after a tenner, but because I'm trying to help as many small businesses as I can. One final thing that I'd like to ask you to do on this podcast is, share it, please. If you would, I'd love it if you'd share this, whether it's the video version or the audio version. Please share it with other people. Let's get these sort of valuable messages out there and help as many people as possible to avoid the fact that 80% of small businesses that start each and every year have gone bust within 5 years. And that's an alarming statistic and something I've been trying to do something about for many, many years. So thanks very much for listening, and I look forward to speaking to you again next time. Thank you. So, thank you for listening. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, and even more, if you've benefited from it and you'd like to know more, you'd like more of my help, and you'd like to benefit from my nearly 30 years of experience working with and learning from the leading experts in the world in the area of sales and marketing, then here's what you need to do next. You need to go to my website, which is results-mastery.com, and use the gold button to book yourself a meeting on a one-to-one basis with me. Thank you very much for listening again, and I look forward to speaking to you very, very soon. Thank you.